guys? Turbo John's Backward Brawl got canceled, but Turbo John is still here. My buddy says he knows Turbo John, what he says, but he says he does. He says he knows Turbo John, so we'll see about it. Seeing if he could get us to actually talk to Turbo John and potentially have like a Q&A with him. So we'll see what happens, guys.
I'm here with my buddy Turbo John, and we're just going to do a basic video and ask him a few questions that I kind of want to know and maybe other people are interested in. So I kind of asked you earlier, but were you ever nitrous, John?
Nitrous, man, nitrous and fuel tech's my two most favorite words. Not ever in my vocabulary.
No,
I'm just kidding about that. I said that the other week in a video, and everybody got on me. They were like, "Why do you hate nitrous?" And then they were like, "Why do you hate fuel tech?" I don't hate either one of those. Never mess with fuel techs. That's kind of like the pro mod, pro stock level. I'm down here in the
we run fuel tech. It's much more complex.
Right. I'm down here in the basement in the Holly version.
Right.
But nitrous, yes, I was nitrous a long time ago. Of course, everybody starts off nitrous. I've been racing pretty much for about 30 years, 47 years old. So first car was naturally aspirated, got that addiction, and then we put the squeeze on it and, you know, started blowing stuff up all the time. But yeah, nitrous is one of those things I went away from in 2001.
So what made you decide to go to a turbo?
So I was a nitrous car, and then I found a YouTube channel back in the day, 2001. The internet had just come to life in the late 90s. And so here we go. It was a turbo 4-cylinder. And I cannot remember the name of the channel, but it was a 4-cylinder with a single turbo on it, and it was bad. And then he took that out and put a 302 in it, twins, blow through, and I was like, gotta have it. And so that was my introduction to boost. And so once I got hooked on the boost, it was never looked back, sold all my nitrous stuff, and will never probably have a nitrous motor again unless it's a hog. I mean, 900 cubic inches. I mean, you wouldn't say no to that, you know. So, but most likely we'll stay boost for the rest of my life.
How did you become Turbo John?
But yeah, so the name Turbo John came from I don't even know, it was one of my buddies, Joey, I think was the first one to call me Turbo John, because you know people by what they have, you know, nitrous something, or hey, it's that guy with that Camaro over there. And so I was the only one locally that had a turbo, and so he was like Turbo John, and so that's how I got the nickname Turbo John.
So how did you meet your wife?
Kelly, was kind of funny. The story with that is I met her in a downtime when I wasn't racing. So everybody knows how racing is all consuming. You know, it really is all parts of your life. You know, you're thinking about racing, you're building race cars, you're drag racing, you're trying to figure out how to get faster all the time. Right. And so luckily I hooked her into becoming my wife before I started back drag racing a ton.
You clickbaited her.
Yeah, I clickbaited her. That's exactly, I clickbaited the wife into a marriage before she realized what she was getting into. But so I did start building a car shortly after I met her, but it was in the process. And that actually turned into, so that was back in 2006, 2007. And that was my old car prior to this one.
Now, do you name your cars?
No, I don't name my cars. Yep. And
so the old one was the orange car, and this new one is the orange car.
It's the orange car as well. That's right. It's just, I mean, they don't have, I've tried to come up with names, and it's just, I'm just like, I can't do it. And the name thing doesn't get to me. You know, I just don't do it.
So how did you start your YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel, Kelly decided she wanted me to have a YouTube channel about 5 or 6 years ago. I decided she was crazy. I said I didn't have anything to talk about. Nobody would listen. And so one day I had a problem with the EFI. The car was running absolute blast. It ran a 452 at 162 mile an hour on 21 pounds of boost, I think it was. And I was like, man, the fuel consumption was like 3,500 pounds or something. It was crazy. Timing was way high, and it was low boost. I was like, I got the fastest car in the country on this 21 pounds of boost, or whatever it was. It was 21 or 16 or maybe 28. I don't remember, but it was low boost. And everybody's like, you're crazy. It's got to be making more boost than that. Back pressure was elevated at like 50 pounds of back pressure. I was like, man, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you what my map sensor is saying. And so there again, Holly EFI does its correction, so it keeps it nice and safe. And so finally I decided I was going to check my map sensor. I had an MSD 3-bar map sensor. I said, well, I mean, the map sensor's working. And so I hit it with compressed air, and at 21 pounds of boost, the map sensor blew apart. And then the map sensor was shut when you let off the pressure. And so they were all right. I was wrong. And I was like, man, this is a problem that, you know, potentially could have been a big issue. I was like, well, let me do my first YouTube video of trying to be Turbo John. Let's do it. And so that was it. I was explaining what my map sensor problem was. And so that's how I got started. And then one of our other buddies local, I had no idea what YouTube was, John Doc. He saw that I had started a channel. He gave me a big boost, and can't ever thank him enough for doing that. And so, you know, he jumped me up there, and he was like, man, he's like, just keep doing it. He gave me the moral support that I could do YouTube. And so his support and my wife's channel, I mean, we just growed it, man. And we're out here racing, having fun. Any time at the racetrack is a good time.
What was your personal best on your old orange car?
The personal best on the old orange car was a 452. 452 at 162 miles an hour. The next pass was faster, but I didn't get a time slip. So, I mean, the time slip 452, it probably was a 48 or 46.
What's your personal best in this car so far?
So the personal best in this one, I think we've been a 64, 65, 464, 465. The car is on the front of the track. It's working really good. You know, we did a couple radial races and it worked really good, but we don't want to radial race it. We want to no prep race it.
Right.
Front of the track, no prep. I can go pretty quick with it. I can't share exactly what it goes because those guys are a little crazy.
I understand. I know me and you have talked about maybe doing a different 4-link like we were running in our car.
Right.
Because of the back of the track.
That's right.
stuff.
And it's hard. What I'm realizing, my old car was a perfect back of the track car and a almost perfect front of the track car. It performed better at the back of the track. This one right now is performing better in front of the track. It almost feels like you almost have to have two dedicated cars. You need to have a car for the back of the track and you need to have a car for the front of the track. We're not there yet.
I've seen you change your struts and your springs.
Yeah,
so many.
yeah.
I know what you're trying to do because it is almost a completely different chassis setup.
It
You go
is.
from one extreme to the other.
It really is. It's amazing what you have to change. People don't understand.
It's not just dumping 400 pounds of weight.
No, absolutely not. There's so much more to it than that. The guys that, and that's why you see the guys that are really fast on the back of the track, they don't go to the front of the track. When you see the guys that are really, really fast consistently on the front of the track, no prep, they don't go to the back of the track. It's a lot of effort, it's a lot of work, and it's also, I mean, you know how finicky these cars are. I mean, sometimes it'll work perfect. You'll change something, you'll put it back exactly the way it was, and it don't work. It's not exactly the same. That's right. Something has changed. And so once you hit on, you know, the perfect spot, it's hard to change it. But unfortunately, I can't afford to have two cars, so it is what it is. I want to race back at the track and in front of the track. So we're going to have a mediocre car probably on the back of the track for a while, and hopefully a killer car on the front of the track still. But we want to be more competitive on the back. And I think we're making changes to do that. We just got some of the TRS, the Thomas Racing Services, extended front struts, and they are bad. We made that one pass Thursday night from the front of the track, and that thing, it's got like a mile of travel. It feels unbelievable in the car. It feels like it's wheeling the whole way. So I think we're making progress. The old car, Nick with Hustling Horsepower, I let him borrow that car until he got his new stuff done, and he's working on that. He's trying to get that done. I'll probably have my old car back probably in the next month or two, which I don't know that I'm ready to start working on that because this still needs a bunch of attention. The old car is going to become a drag and drive car. I'm going to cut the funny car cage out of it, make it an 850 cage, and then just make it a drag and drive. Probably put a 5.3 in it, something single turbo, probably on E85. I hate E85, but that's a good pump fuel. But something that, I mean, if you can't go to 850s because of the cage, I mean, that E85 is well capable of doing that. So that's what I'm going to probably end up doing.
So what are the future plans with this? I mean, maybe the 4-link. What else? Do you have any other plans you want to change on this thing?
It depends. Possibly, highly likely, when the motor comes out this summer, the firewall is going to get moved back about 6 inches, 8 inches. Cut out the factory firewall, put a firewall in it so I can shorten up the drive shaft, move the motor back, so I don't have to have so much weight in the back of the car for the back of the track stuff.
And the aluminum block.
That's right, and the aluminum block. So between doing the aluminum block, moving it back, I'm predicting for the back of the track stuff, I should be able to take out about maybe 300 pounds, 400 pounds, and still keep a decent bias. And in the front of the track, take all the weight out, and then have the bias that I need, and so it'll be faster in the front of the track as well. So that is the game plan at the moment, but it all depends. I mean, I've got a regular job, you know, YouTube and drag racing is my hobby. It's not the breadwinner. So, you know, I work in Monday through Friday night, 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So, I mean, you know, doing that and then doing the racing is hard, you know, which, I mean, it's difficult.
I mean, I watch your channel. I see how hard you work. I've seen you rebuild your transmission. I've seen you put this car together. I've seen you change the struts in the trailer, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice move.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you got to do what you can do. My buddy shops, you know, one of my buddy shops, my good buddy Brian, he's I've got access. Luckily, he gives me access to his shop anytime I want it, but he's like 45 minutes away.
Right.
And then I got another buddy locally, and he's only 5 or 10 minutes away, but it's hard to, he doesn't work at night. He's there working on cars all the time during the day. So I don't want to keep him. I feel guilty keeping him over too, because he's been working all day on the stuff.
So the way you're talking, I assume you don't have your own shop.
No, I do my stuff out of my buddy shops or either at my house. A lot of stuff. I used to roll in an an open trailer, and I did everything in my garage except for my big stuff. And so, but now with the enclosed trailer, it's just a little easier. I'll do stuff in here when I got to. Which as long as I've got room, luckily my trailer, I can push the car all the way to the back, and I can pull the front end off of it. I can do about everything in the trailer. Life goals is to have a stacker at some point. Oh, that would be nice.
Be careful what you wish for, because your motorhome won't like it.
The motorhome might not be happy
I'm living
about
that
that.
road right now with my
Right,
baby, yeah.
right. But it would be nice to have a lift with you at the track, because last time my buddy Happy here, we were at the streetcar takeover. We busted the transmission up, rebuilt it at the track. It's brutal laying on the concrete. Luckily it wasn't on the grass though. But it is what it is. You want to race, and that's one of the differences between me and a lot of people that I see that race. When I'm at the track, if I can fix it, we're going to fix it. And we're going to try to race. There's no better time to drag race than when you're at the track, So if you got to work on it at the track, it is what it is. You got to do it.
So what do you think's going to happen in the next couple of years with Turbo John Racing? I see you got about 40,000 subs now.
Right.
What's your goal over the next 1 or 2 years?
So ultimately, we're going to just keep doing what we're doing. We want to travel more, but being, like I said, being tied down to a normal 8 to 5 job Monday through Friday. I've got vacation time that I can use, but it's very, very difficult to do it full time. Ultimately, retiring in the next 5-7 years, maybe get a little bit early retirement before we get out of 30. Maybe that'll happen, but it might not. So at least the next little while, we're going to be doing what we're doing. We want to travel more, we want to race more, but man, we have so much good local racing with us. It's just hard to travel long
you were
distances.
bragging about that earlier. Would you say it's 7 or 8 tracks within like an hour of your house?
Yeah, man, we have 7, 8, 9 tracks, and we can race every weekend. So it's unbelievable, man. The drag racing's always been around. It's always been fun. It's always been a nice hobby. It's a break. It's a job. It's hard, and people are getting faster, and this
harder than work.
That's right. It is. My work job is a cake compared to sometimes when I get home at 1 o'clock in the morning, and after working a full day, and then working on the race car for 6 or 7 hours as well in the night. I just try to document. I show people. I show people. I've had a couple people hit me up on YouTube. They're like, well, how do you do this? Or you're doing that wrong. And I'm like, well, I'm not showing y'all. This is not a how-to video. This is how I did it video. This is how I did it. Right or wrong or indifferent. It may not be right, but I'm just telling you what I did. But I also show people what I did wrong, and when I screw up, hopefully it'll save some people some heartache at some point.
All of our subscribers might not know you, so What is your YouTube channel? Go ahead and push it out there.
Right, Turbo John Racing. Just YouTube it, Turbo John Racing, and it should pop up. There's also a Turbo John that is a video gamer. So, that's not me.
Yeah, don't watch him.
I don't know how many subs that one is now.
And there's a link on there where you can buy Turbo John merchandise.
Yeah, we got t-shirts. We got t-shirts and hats, and that's about all we do. We don't get big in the merch stuff.
And it all helps race your car.
That's right. Everything we do, goes back into the car. Whenever we win money, that's what we do to make it happen.
All right, guys, everybody, visit Turbo John's site, buy a shirt, buy a hat, help this man out. He's racing hard.
We'll see y'all soon. Go fast and get some win lights. Yes, sir.
Thank you, John.
Yes, sir.
See you.
Good seeing y'all.